Environmental and human population changes are reshaping the landscape of vector-borne disease, VBD, pathogens, and spreading into previously unaffected regions of North America. Based on recent data from Companion Animal Parasite Council, Antech scientists estimate that tens of millions of dogs and cats in North America now need testing for exposure to the most common VBDs, such as Lyme disease and heartworm, even as these illnesses continue to spread and increase in coincidence. Now, today, I have Dr. Brad Ryan, and we're going to talk about this. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. I really appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you being with us. Now, why are we seeing an increase in vector-borne diseases?
Well, mosquitoes, ticks, these biting insects that spread these vector-borne diseases are moving across the country from their previous territories. We have seen a rise in temperatures around the country. We have more unseasonably warm winters than we used to have. And therefore, in some pockets of the country where they haven't historically had a lot of these diseases, owners aren't keeping their pets on prevention year round. And that can be a big problem, especially with something like Lyme disease, because the deer ticks that spread Lyme are actually out and about pretty much year round. As soon as it gets into the mid 30s to upper 30s, we can see those ticks out and about, even walking on snow, ready to find their next blood meal. So those are some of the factors at play here.
Now, what can pet owners do to remain vigilant?
Well, the first thing is to have a conversation with your community. Make sure that people are aware that there is a risk in Missouri. We have Missouri is one of the states that is a hot spot for ehrlichiosis. I don't know if you've even heard of it, but it's a tick-borne disease that's very prevalent in the state of Missouri. We have moderate to high pockets of Lyme throughout, or sorry, moderate to high pockets of heartworm disease across Missouri as well. Lyme is an evolving story. Stay tuned on that one, but we do expect a westward expansion of that. So getting your pet tested every year when they're in for their wellness exam is so important to make sure that they haven't been exposed. We shouldn't assume that just because we haven't seen it in the past that we might not have it in our backyards today. Year-round prevention, heartworm prevention, and flea and tick prevention, 12 months a year for every dog, is absolutely essential as well. And of course, when you've been outside with your pet, make sure that you're inspecting your pet for signs of ticks being on there as well as on your own body to make sure that you're not exposed to those diseases and those vectors.
Now, what should pet owners be asking their veterinarian about VBDs?
Yeah, just I would ask first of all, what is the risk? How are things changing in our particular part of the state? When was the last time my pet was tested? And most importantly, can I have my pet tested today? Not just for heartworm, but tests like Acuplex, True Rapid 4. These are comprehensive vector-borne disease screening tests that also look for Lyme disease, anaplasmosis, and ehrlichiosis, which you do have in Missouri. So make sure that you're asking for a comprehensive vector-borne disease screening test during every annual wellness exam.
Now, how do I know if my pet has been exposed to a vector-borne disease?
Well, the short answer is that it can be kind of tricky, unfortunately, because oftentimes these pets are maybe a little bit off. They're a little lethargic, not eating as much, and it can be subtle. So those nonspecific signs can be an indicator that your pet was exposed, especially if your pet wasn't on year-round prevention. So if you find a tick, that's certainly going to be the most surefire sign that your pet may have been exposed. But look for those vague clinical signs. With Lyme, perhaps a lameness, a walking on eggshells, ouchy joints can present when Lyme gets into the joints of a dog. And then with heartworm disease, I would look for a persistent cough. Other signs of heart disease can be an indicator there. And you do have a lot of heartworm disease in the state of Missouri.
So, how do pets get infected, and can our pets transmit these diseases to people?
So it's the bite of a mosquito for heartworm disease and a bite of a tick for Lyme disease, anaplasmosis, and ehrlichiosis. So if your pet is on a prevention, that tick is going to die before they have transmitted the disease, even if they've been attached for even up to 24 hours. So that's why prevention is so important.
Now, how often should my dog be tested for diseases like Lyme? And do we need to have our pets tested if they've been on heartworm and flea tick prevention?
Yeah, even if your pet has been on prevention year round, there's always a chance that we had a busy morning and we thought we gave our dog the heartworm prevention or the flea and tick prevention and we missed it. And so because we have concerns that compliance could have been missed 1 month. And also, there's always a chance that the drugs that we're using could fail over time and start to lose their effectiveness. So for both of those reasons, all of our professional interest groups in veterinary medicine recommend annual testing for every dog for vector-borne diseases, even if they've been on flea and tick prevention, and that should happen once a year.
Now, Dr. Ryan, I got one last question for you. This.
Yes.
How does a doctor, veterinarian from Southeast Ohio, successfully summited Mount Kilimanjaro?
I actually did that during vet school. So we got 2 weeks off out of the entire year, and I was working over at the Cheetah Conservation Fund in Namibia, and I had a little window to sneak away, and I thought, let's just see what we can do here. So it took me 6 days to get up there, and I barely remember the summit because I was so brain foggy from the altitude, but it was a really beautiful mountain. If you ever get a chance to do it, I recommend it highly.
One last question now. So you and your mom, your grandma,
Yes.
93-year-old Grandma Joy, went to all 63 U.S. national parks. How did that happen?
Well, I was in my 4th year of vet school on my radiology rotation, and I had an opportunity to sneak away for the weekend. And she had never seen a mountain, and I thought, well, we'll have that simple goal of just seeing a mountain. I took her down to the Smokies, and she climbed a mountain with me, actually, and that kind of set off a whole new purpose in my life. And we spent the next 7.5 years chipping away at that goal. And at age 93, she broke the world record as the oldest person to have visited all 63 national parks. And we're still going. She's heading to South Africa with me next month to dehorn some rhinos so that the poachers don't. So
My God.
we keep her busy.
That's right. Keep her busy. Keep her active. Been speaking with Dr. Brad Ryan. Thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend and talking about this important topic and keeping us informed and letting us know no matter what age, keep rocking and rolling.
That's right. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you.
You bet.